All right, well, welcome back, and we're going to be talking about 2.2b again. Talking about how to find uh, different percents using normal distributions and z-scores. All right, so here we go. What we have here is another example. And according to the article in African Geographic, there is many unexpected uses for elephant waste, but how much waste does elephant produce per day? So they show that the distribution of waste produced by elephants can be modeled by a normal distribution. So that's important. All right, normal distribution with a mean of 250 pounds and a standard deviation of 21 pounds. All right, what percent of the elephant produce at least 300 pounds of waste in a day? At least 300 pounds of waste. That's a lot of waste. All right, first off, I'm just going to draw this little graph right here. All right, this normal curve. And in my normal curve, I'm going to put 250 because that's our mean. And we'll label it 21 for our standard deviation. So that's what you want to do as well. And maybe you want to pause this and try it out to see if you can find the answer and then check your work as I go on. All right, so in any case, the first thing is we're looking for 300 pounds. So 300 pounds is a few standard deviations away. And so I'm going to just label that right there. And we're looking for this because it's going to be at least 300 pounds. All right, and so we're talking about all of the values over because it's going to be 301 pounds, 310 pounds. It could be a lot more, but we're looking for that percent. So now, from here, what we're going to do next is we're going to find the z-score. All right, z-score. Because it's a normal distribution, I'm going to figure out the standardized score for 300 pounds. So I'm going to take 300 minus 250. All right, divided by 21. Now, when I do that, and I punch in my calculator, I'm going to get a value of 2.38. 2.38. Now, what we just did here is I converted this normal curve of the elephant waste, all right, into a standard curve where we have a of 0 and we have our value of 2.38. Now, what we're going to do right here is I want to figure out, okay, what is that percent? Well, remember when we find z-scores, it always gives a percentile value. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go over here, and I'm going to pull up my table A, and I'm going to blow this up for you so we can look at this. And we're looking for 2.38. And so if you follow this, all right, 2.3, I'm going to get my highlighter so you can see this. 2.38, and we look up here, 2.3, and we're going all the way up to 8, which appears to be that right there. All right, 2.3, and you see that 8 right there, and so it is that value, 0.9913, 0.9913. Now, what value do we just find there? Okay, well, that 0.9913 is actually referring to this right there, okay? Okay, it's always a percentile. So what we found was actually 0.9913, okay, is that value. So how do we figure out what's going to be the percent that's going to be greater? Well, what we do is we take that 1, take 1 minus 0.9913, okay? And when you do that, 0.9913, you get an answer of, all right, 0.0087. Well, that's really, really small. And so what is that as a percent? Well, it's going to be a 0.87%, okay? 0.87%. And that is what we found there. So what we found is a percent, okay, or a probability of elephant dung. We'll call that X is the poundage of elephant dung. That's going to be at least, all right, so everything greater than or equal to 300 pounds is going to equal that percent, okay, that percent. All right, and that's what we have there. Now, I'm going to minimize this a little bit, and I'll get rid of that and that, okay? And so, we found out our answer, right there, and that is what we have, okay? So now let's go check out our next problem in this section. It says, a zoo has an agreement with the local farmers that they sell the daily waste for the elephants to farmers for $5 a pound. If the amount of waste produced by the elephants on a given day is at the 10th percentile of the distribution of waste, how much money would the zoo make selling the waste to that farmer? Okay, so what we're going to figure out is we got to figure out how much waste is in the 10th percentile. Now, if you out right here, okay, we have a normal distribution, once again, of 250, and then we have 21, all right, standard deviations away from the mean, all right, and we're looking for the 10th percentile. Now, the 10th percentile is over here, okay? And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to figure out what this x value is. The x value is going to be amount of waste the elephant has produced, okay? And so what is that value? Well, that will give me the 10th percentile. Well, over here, what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what is the z-score that will generate that, okay? So if I find my z-score first, all right, that will give me the 10th percentile, okay? So it's going to be 0.1, all right, 0.1, and that's going to be 0.1 as well. I'm then going to convert it using a z-score that we had before. Now, since the 10th percentile is to the left, we're going to have negative values. I'm going to go over here, and if you kind of look at this, all right, we're looking for our percent. These are our percents inside. I'm looking for point, all right, 0, 1, all right, or 0.1, and the closest thing to 0.1. And I got 0.1003. Now that's pretty close to being 10%, so I'm going to go with that. 0.0013, and if you see that right there, okay, just so you can see it, that appears to be about 10%, and that's going to be negative 1.2, up here, 8. All right, so our z-score that I found was going to be negative, all right, 1.28, 1.28. Now, what does that translate to here? Well, that's where we go to z, okay? Well, our z value, which we know is negative 1.208, negative 1.28, all right? And that's going to equal our x minus 250 divided by 21. Doing a little algebra, if we take negative 1.28, all right, multiply that by 21, and then we're going to add 250, all right, to that, we get an answer of x equaling 223.12. All right, so that is how much pounds we have. Now, we have to answer the problem because this says how much money would they get there. They're going to get $5 per pound, so this is the amount of pounds we got. So for our final dollar amount, we're going to take $5 times x, which is 23.12, and that is going to give us our final dollar amount, 3.12, and they're going to make roughly about, all right, $1,115, all right, and about 60 cents. And so that, my friends, is how we use percentiles to find values, all right? So once again, the inside of a table A are the percentiles, okay? This gives you the z-scores, and you can do either from the left or from the right if they're positive, okay? And we can use that to figure out our percents. Now just remember, if you have, whenever you have these are percentile scores. These are all percentile scores, and that is very, very important. These are percentiles, all right? And then we have to convert them into the probability that we would want in case we have something that's going to be larger or whatnot. Okay? Well, I hope this helps you out. And yeah, good luck with your z-scores, and good luck on the rest of your problems.